in my opinion, the coffee tasted a whole lot better back then.
Yeah, back then.
But also, I didn't feel like I was actually on crack when I drank it.
Yeah. No, now they burn the shit out of it, so it's just the same everywhere. It's for consistency.
Well, yeah, that's like the whole thing with Starbucks coffee is they
over roast the shit out of it because then you get consistent roast. There's not so every store is going to have the exact same tasting coffee.
Oh, you just ruin all of it, and then you get
Pretty
Starbucks
much.
coffee.
Pretty much.
I hate to say it, but I still get that shit every chance that
Soy
I get.
chai latte with 2 shots of espresso. Dirty chai. Right?
I'm a nitro cold brew, dude.
I am fucking blown away that you remembered my exact order that I literally drank like yesterday morning.
You did?
And pretty much every time I go to Starbucks. How did you remember that?
I don't know.
You're shocked by that? I remember what my wife orders every time.
Iconoblast. We put the past on blast. Hit them with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
Dirty chai, I mean, like really shitty hand jobs.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're good, but not as good as the hand jobs.
Is that what you call a Chinese hooker? Drink.
Jesus Christ. We're right at the top of the episode, Joel. Fuck.
Well, if it's dirty chai, it'd be like, what, Venezuelan?
Portuguese?
Where was he from?
Wait, no. Fuck. We probably have to drink for that, too.
Intro?
Buckle up, everybody. It's going to be a long episode. So welcome to the Iconoblast podcast. This is the show that takes a look behind the public facades of famous icons to show you why you can never take anything at face value. My name is Matt Cooper, and I am once again joined by Joel Benner.
Hola. ¿Qué tú?
And
¿Cómo
today
estás?
we have the host of the Nooner Nation podcast and one of the preeminent Nooners, Bill Schofield. You were the first Nooner that I ever met.
Oh, yeah, dope. Yeah, we've talked about that before, but yeah. What's going on, America? Yeah, we met, you guys it was almost this time last year because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we just started working here. We just started our show.
Giorgio about ran me over, and then you guys were carrying stuff in. I was like, who the fuck are these two guys? And then we proceeded in this room to just get completely torched off of Fireball, I think.
Probably Fireball.
Yeah, most likely. There has been a whole lot of Fireball that's been consumed in this room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan of Fireball. Before I left, I went to go buy my wife flowers, but it was the Friday before Valentine's Day, so they're really expensive. So I bought her just a bottle of Fireball instead.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same.
I would say it lasts longer, but no.
No, the Fireball goes pretty fast around here. So today we're going to be doing an episode that was actually written by you yourself. We discussed this. How long ago was it that
I brought it up? I brought it up a while
Tyson
ago,
episode.
and then when you did my show, we brought it up again. You're like, sure, write it, and I was like, sure. And then I got off that episode. I was like, did I just agree to something I haven't done in like 12 years?
Agree to writing 8 fucking pages of information about
bad
some
dude,
figure.
man.
No, you did a good job. It was actually more than I was initially expecting.
Yeah,
because with who we're talking about today, there's like we were talking about earlier. It's such a contemporary figure that there is much more confirmed information because this is stuff that happened within our lifetime.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of documentation involved.
So it's hard to cut out any of the information overall.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going with a historic figure, like a ancient history figure or somebody that isn't alive during our lifetime, it's a bit easier to kind of fudge things and leave some things out because a lot of that information is kind of thrown up in the air. You don't know whether it's true or not because pretty much anything prior to 100 years ago, nobody really knows because nobody's still alive for that.
Yep.
But with the person we're talking about today, we're talking about the one and only Iron Mike Tyson.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Is he? So I'm not like a sports guy, obviously. But is he that? I mean, I know that he's great, but how would you compare him to somebody like Floyd Mayweather?
He'd beat the shit out of Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, he'd destroy Floyd Mayweather, but they're different sizes, right? But
yeah, he's heavyweight.
I think
Floyd is.
I think if you're
little
going
baby
off
boy.
of just sheer brand and personality and recognition, I would probably give him that title. I mean, everybody knows fucking Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So if the
He's
two
up
of
there
them,
with Muhammad Ali and shit.
yeah.
So actually, here's another question for
Muhammad Ali was also heavyweight. And he
a
was-
nerd like me that knows nothing about fighting. If you were to, so Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd Mayweather, who
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray beats them all out. Mark McGrath.
Yeah.
Every morning there's a. So anyway,
Have you ever seen that video where some kid in like a nightclub or outside a nightclub called Mark McGrath sugar gay? And it's like a cell phone footage. Like he was gonna like beat the shit out of this like 16-year-old kid, and then
Mark
found out that
McGrath?
yeah, like he was pissed.
I could see him getting real
Well,
pissed off about
here's
something
the
like
thing: he was
that.
getting
like a
really
dickhead.
pissed off at a 16-year-old kid. I mean, there was no real threat of danger for him, right?
No real threat
So,
of reprisal.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that he was probably in his mid to late 30s at that point, I would assume.
No, this was like
Sugar gay.
this was
Do you have to
Do-
drink
do
for
we-
that?
I was actually going to ask the same thing. Do we
I think we should just drink to
yeah,
be safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's drink just to be
drink.
safe.
no, this was fairly recent. Mark McGrath, like when he gets he's older, a little puffier and shit.
Oh, so this is Mark
Couple
McGrath.
years, couple years. When he's like,
He was
already
past
doing
40
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, he was already doing like all his hosting stuff.
Oh,
Fat McGrath?
that's- Yeah, fat McGrath. It's the shittiest Mark McGrath. The best Mark McGrath is actually the one who used to play metal. Back in the day,
Was he a metal guy?
Sugar Ray used to be like
I had the
a
album.
new
There
metal band.
were some heavier songs on there.
Breathe. They had a song called, I think it was called "Stand and Deliver." That was fairly close to like a, I don't want to say avant-garde, but it was like a weird System
Shitty
of a
metal?
Down-esque
Shitty
song
metal.
where, well, no, yeah, shitty metal. Absolutely.
I know they did a song that had like they used motorcycle sounds in it.
Yes,
matching
that was
with the guitar.
that was the same album. I'm pretty sure because
Okay.
they did their first album and then they followed it up with the album that had what was the name of that song?
Every morning there's
No,
a
no,
butthole
it was
in my
bef-
butthole.
it was before that. It was the one that had the like reggaeton guy.
Reggaeton.
Reggaeton. It was
Yeah.
it was like their first major hit. Like
I don't
big,
know. I only know
big
the
time
one
hit.
about
It came
the
out in,
bedroom.
it was like 1997. And that's what made Sugar Ray
Why do you know so much about Sugar Ray?
because I used to play that song on fucking repeat.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Really?
oh god, dude, fucking yeah. It
Shut
was
the door, baby. Don't say a word.
no, it wasn't that one. That was like around the time that I fell off and I wasn't listening to Sugar Ray anymore. But
You fell off. You got.
Yeah,
I mean, you got your
moved on.
taste got better.
yeah,
Yeah, he moved on to like third wave ska at that point. Right?
Third Eye Blind.
Mighty
ska.
Mighty Boss Tones and fucking Big
Chumbawamba.
Bad Voodoo Daddies.
who did
Chumbawamba.
Particle Man?
Oh shit, that was They Might Be Giants.
Yeah.
And that is the reason that anytime we talk about Istanbul or Constantinople on the show, I have to say,
Oh God, I'm so sick of this. Don't say it, please.
Constantinople got the works. That's nobody's business but the Turks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. You got to drop that in there. It's required.
You have
I
to
mean,
stop.
It's like, okay,
dropping
so
that in there.
if somebody says shave and a haircut,
You're saying this again too?
I've never said this on the show.
Yes, you
before.
have. You did the same
No.
thing last time. Yes, you did.
No,
Yes, you
really?
did. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I drink on the show too
Yeah.
often,
Yeah.
but it's the Drinking Bros Network, so I think
course.
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Throughout the history of modern sports, fans have been hell-bent on granting titles to athletes. These same fans seem to prioritize an equal amount of emotion into arguing over which specific competitor truly has earned the right to be giving said title. Fastest human, strongest man, most influential athlete, the world's sexiest blah blah blah. Which, by the way, I gotta say this right at the top. Props to Bill Schofield for writing this episode, which a lot of time and research had to have gone into because holy shit, it was
Yeah.
multiple pages.
Yeah, and at the top, by the way, even though we talked about like it's very modern and there's a lot of documentation on everything he's done, there are so many like conflictions and dates and times when things happen. So if I got something wrong, go fuck yourself. Take that shit to coop.
Really,
Leave me alone.
Even with
Yeah.
Tyson, that fucking recently, there's still
so
that
like
much.
his age when we'll get to like his age when his dad did whatever. And
Oh,
all
okay,
this
and
stuff,
also
and,
who his dad actually was.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I
and then-
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. And certain crazy events where they fall in the timeline. I kept finding different dates for everything. So
Just tell me that he's not a pedophile.
Rapist, yes. Pedophile, no.
I think that chick was 18. So
Okay.
Not a pedophile. Not a pedophile rapist.
Possibly a rapist.
But
convicted.
Convicted rapist.
But who hasn't
Spoilers.
been there before? These are just a few of the countless monikers added as prefixes to place in front of the names on a long list of constantly revolving names in sports. Undoubtedly, the most debatable title awarded in sporting history is GOAT.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Greatest of all time. Will the argument over Jordan versus LeBron ever be truly settled in the minds of NBA fans? Will Tom Brady's accomplishments
Jordan was better. Tom
Was
Brady.
he?
Tom Brady's the GOAT of football.
Was Jordan better than...
You're asking the wrong guy. But I will say I did one of my first episodes on Internation. We talked about who's the most famous athlete of all time. And we, Boston Joe and some other people were on there with me. And we went with Jordan, most famous.
That's
Him
probably the...
doing the dunk. That image is like iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on,
And then-
It will be
on
forever.
shoes.
And then probably the athlete that would have the greatest effect on sports history if they did not exist was Tiger Woods.
Really?
Oh, Tiger Woods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Golf would not be what it is today. I know a lot of people don't like golf. That's fine. But he created...
He made golf cool.
Before him, if you won a golf tournament, you get like $50,000. Now you get $2 million. And he did that. There would not be a
Holy
golf
shit.
channel. Right?
That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll
That's
say
cool,
it again.
but no
I
one
know
gives a shit
nothing
about
about
golf.
sports.
I think I may have found my next person to write about that.
Golf is for old people.
Well, also something
Golf
that...
is as boring as baseball, but more boring.
Well, at the very least,
Fair.
from my understanding, baseball takes some strategy in the game overall. Where, from, like I said, that's from my understanding,
like Frisbee golf.
which is like third-hand information of somebody that actually gives a shit about baseball.
Yeah.
Saying that it takes some strategy that I'm not aware of because
I mean, I can
am not a
argue for
sports
golf
guy.
all night, but we're talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
Talking about boxers. So, the greatest of all time. Will the argument over Jordan versus LeBron ever be truly settled in the minds of NBA fans? Will Tom Brady's accomplishments ever be unanimously accepted by anyone who isn't a true Patriots fan?
If you're not
Which,
cheating,
by
you're,
the way,
you're
somebody
not
who's
winning.
in the
Yeah,
studio
don't
right
talk
now.
too loud about that
A
one.
little side tangent here from Bill himself. Shut the fuck up, Boston Joe. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Will the old timers ever accept Tiger Woods as golf's messiah if he does beat Jack's major record?
If he doesn't beat
That's
Jack's
Jack
major
Jack
Nicklaus,
Nicklaus?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fuck, I know nothing about sports. The arguments may never be resolved because most of these title achievements are subjective, destined to be argued over for all of eternity. Mm-hmm. Though many original titles are granted, awarded, and then given to the next talent to come along, one title may remain undefeated and undisputed: the baddest man on the planet. Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30th, 1966. Holy shit, that's close to my birthday. It's only 9 days off.
Wrong year, though.
Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30th, 1966 to Lorna Mae Tyson in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, New York. Mike's biological father is listed as Purcell Tyson, a Jamaican immigrant. Very little is known of Purcell.
Near the beach.
Right. Fuck. Very little is known of Purcell, and to this day, Mike claims that his father is actually a man named Jimmy Kirkpatrick Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kirkpatrick was noted as being a frequent visitor of Brooklyn's pool halls, gambling dens, and back alleys.
Oh. A naughty boy.
I would probably be spending a lot of time around there too, honestly. One evening, shortly before Tyson's second birthday, Jimmy Jr. made that long walk for a pack of menthols, never to return, which, by the way, I gotta give a shout out to my illegitimate son, Jake. I'm sorry, Jake.
You're still searching for that pack of cigarettes, huh?
I'll come back someday, I swear. When asked about Kirkpatrick, Tyson was quoted saying, quote, "My father was a regular street guy caught up in the street world." And it sounds like Tyson kind of fell into the same cycle where he was just a street kid getting caught up in
you get into that
street crime.
Yeah,
the same shit that I grew up with, which I mean I can relate to that, just being on the wrong side of the tracks,
the dirty streets of
the dirty streets. Well, first Oregon and then
Bernie.
Santa Barbara, California. Which
Santa Barbara,
California
poor,
is
low income streets of Santa Barbara,
and
California.
I mean, you get in a cycle of where people are telling you there's no way out but crime and all that shit, right?
Especially in Santa Barbara.
Drugs,
Santa Barbara is
drugs, smoking weed, fucking chicks.
Santa Barbara is by far worse than Brooklyn. I can say that from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
We should probably drink for that also, because Jesus Christ, that is absolutely
That's
not
just
true.
lying.
It's like the most.
We don't drink for lying.
fucking-
We only drink for being racist.
Okay,
casual
good
racism.
point. Yeah, casual racism.
Yeah. Positive
No,
racism.
racial insensitivity.
Racial insensitivity.
There's a difference
cultural
between
insensitivity.
casual racism and racial insensitivity.
What's the difference? Just to make it clear.
Casual racism is the way that my grandpa used to refer to boxers while I was watching boxing with him growing up, which had a whole lot of N-bombs. Jesus Christ, a whole lot of N-bombs. Okay. But racial insensitivity is not giving a shit because you never had to deal with any sort of racism.
And what's cultural insensitivity?
Cultural insensitivity is playing into the same thing as cultural appropriation, in my opinion, which is fucking bullshit, and that's why I don't feel bad for it.
Like white girls with cornrows?
Yes. Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. Doing accents, that is another very good point.
Doing accents,
wearing
accents.
Wearing a kimono to your prom if you're not actually Asian.
Yeah.
Putting a feather in your hat.
Putting a feather in your hat. Well, I'm part Cherokee, so I can actually do that without it being cultural appropriation.
I don't think. I think it still would be.
Do I not look Cherokee to you?
No.
I'm like 1/32, like Miami Indian, and I tried to use that.
Well, do they do a lot of cocaine?
It was Miami, Ohio, so probably meth or something. But I tried to use that to get like a scholarship through like the Miami Indian Nation when I was in high school.
There's a Miami Indian Nation?
Yeah.
Do they all wear like
party?
Yeah.
Do they all wear blazers with rolled up sleeves?
Yeah, they're all Jews in gold chains.
Sick.
I'm
Drink.
part of yeah, we'll drink for that. I'm part of the Miami Vice Nation.
But yeah, and they sent me a very pointed letter about how they don't appreciate me using my 1/32 to take advantage of their scholarship program.
Well, who the fuck? Like, why didn't anybody send that same goddamn letter to Elizabeth Warren?
But, I mean, who else is going to take advantage of it? The rest of them are all getting fucking drunk all the time. Drink.
Got it. Holy
I might
shit.
be
Got to
Ubering
drink
back
for
to
that.
Airbnb. Fuck.
Oh, I am sleeping here at the studio tonight.
That bottle of Maker's Mark, by the way, is about 15 minutes old.
I am absolutely blown away by how fast that bottle went, but I shouldn't be because we're a bunch of raging alcoholics around here. Following Kirkpatrick's never-ending journey for a pack of smokes, Lorna May moved Mike and his sibling into a string of rough neighborhoods, eventually settling in the high-crime area of Brownsville, New York. Brownsville seems like a little bit of a racist term, personally. The absence of a father figure and the lack of supervision from his single mother led a young Tyson to quickly fall to the temptations of life in the ghetto, which that is something that I can actually fully relate to. Is the absence of a father figure and a lack of supervision by my mother. And that's why I ended up in a
And that's why
bunch
you're a
of different
famous
gangs.
boxer.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
secret.
And later on in research, I found, I didn't go back to redo this, but like not only a single mother, but also like was drinking while breastfeeding and doing drugs.
Oh, so like my mom.
Well, I was just going to say that there's not the Milwaukee milkshake, the Milwaukee White Russian,
Yeah.
something like that.
You know what a Milwaukee milkshake is?
This sounds familiar. I don't.
It's when you breastfeed while you're taking a shit.
Oh,
Learn that from Jables. Fucking Jesse is so amazing. Well, I was just going to say that the parallels between Mike Tyson's early childhood and Floyd Mayweather's early childhood surprisingly similar.
Similar?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why people get good at fighting, right?
But one turned out to be awesome and one's a piece of shit. Or they're both pieces of shit? I guess we'll find out.
Hold your judgment till the end.
Oh, okay, true. Well, spoiler alert, Floyd Mayweather, huge piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Massive piece of
Good
shit.
boxer, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
He's one of the best.
no
Well,
question.
if you're going
He's
by
just that fucking
just
good.
pure record and skill, yeah.
What,
Okay, really.
it's
So
like it sucks so much that he's fucking so good. That's why people are like, fuck him, and we don't like to talk about it, but he's...
Well, I mean, it's just like
But he's just
John
that
Lennon,
good.
right? It's like, yeah. I mean,
he's the
my
best.
dad's from England, so I'm like so fucking over the Beatles being like the greatest thing of all time, anyways. But like, you're like, oh, the Beatles, but
great.
John Lennon.
Okay. George
But music's
Harrison.
subjective.
George
Your win
Harrison,
ratio
fucking
is
amazing.
facts.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, shit, I never thought about it that
51
way.
and 0. I mean, can't argue with that.
Yeah.
So, do you think compared their two careers compared, who do you think is the better boxer out of the
Tyson.
two? Mike Tyson's the better,
for sure.
statistically.
I mean, Mike Tyson,
Well, statistically, he's the best of all time. Floyd.
Floyd.
But
It's
his
very
fights
weird.
But his fights are boring as shit.
He's very defensive and wears you down.
Isn't that like his whole thing? Is he just dodges the punches and
I will
gets a bunch
say,
of-
though,
Which is fucking amazing to watch.
Canelo Alvarez
True.
has one
Well, in his
loss
prime.
in his career, and that's to Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather knew
True.
how good Canelo was going to be and fought him when he was like 18 and beat him off the defensive thing. And if you watch Canelo Alvarez now, he learned that, and he has Floyd Mayweather's defense and then like Mike Tyson's offense. So Canelo Alvarez,
Canelo's coming up. Yeah.
No
he'll be
shit.
He'll be something
yeah.
worth talking
And
about.
by the time Canelo Alvarez is like Mike Tyson's age, I think he's going to be.
And he's a Mexican dude that looks like a Nazi, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm on board for that.
He's a pale redheaded Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
A pale, redheaded Mexican.
Actually,
guy.
I know somebody like that.
Do I need
His,
to drink for that?
No,
I
no,
don't think
'cause
so.
It's
It's
true.
a fact.
It's literally what he looks like.
Yeah, I know somebody like that. He's half Mexican and half Russian. Like his dad defected to Mexico, like during the Cold War shit. Looks just like Canelo Alvarez, like Spanish features, but paler skin and like
Holy
reddish
shit,
hair.
that's Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good old Cristobal Colombo.
Another
Redheaded
another
motherfucker.
awesome human in history, right?
So we've had this conversation before where originally the idea for the show was just talking shit about historical figures, and the difficulty of that is the fact that just in the last episode we were talking about this, that if you compare somebody's actions to the morals of their time,
Right.
the majority of the time, maybe not the majority, but a decent amount of the time in terms of very famous historical icons,
They're kind of doing what everybody was doing.
they were doing what pretty much everybody was
Man.
doing.
But
and-
sometimes they're not, though. And those
Sometimes
are the
they're
naughty
not.
ones.
It's a good thing we don't hold people accountable to, standards of the time, right?
Oh, and it's very good that we don't bring up people's past to,
Yeah.
cancel. Not a political podcast. We'll have to move on. But holy shit, I could have it.
Who was the pedophile guy we just talked about? with-
Jimmy Page
last week with Joe.
Yeah, we were talking about Jimmy Page.
Oh, yeah?
with,
Jimmy Page is a
with Joe,
pedophile.
and full blown pedophile, like literally.
So was,
legally
But also
full-blown
for the
pedophile.
times, also still a pedophile.
Also, still yes.
Yeah.
So
See, that's
naughty for his time.
that's a big difference. Is you're
Yeah.
comparing it to the morals of the time. If you have somebody that like Marquis de Sade, by today's standards, still a massive
Pedophile.
piece of shit. By the standards of the time that he was living in, also a
piece of
massive
shit.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's more what you should.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how
what you
old was Jerry Lee Lewis's cousin when he married her? Like
Oh,
13
fuck.
or
No,
some
she,
shit?
yeah, she was like 14. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis also.
Then,
pedophile.
also,
Big piece of
but
shit.
who was is it the guitarist for the Who or something got popped with all the child porn?
Wait, was it
Pete Townsend?
Oh.
Oh shit! That's a callback to the last episode because we were talking about
The Who, but
about
we
the
didn't
Who. We were
talk
talking
about
about
that.
Keith Moon. I'm surprised
porn?
that
No, I think it was Pete
that
Townsend. This
didn't
is
come up because, well, Jimmy Page
like
for
was
sure.
facing serious jail time and was famous, so nothing ever happened. But
Really,
as far as he
for-
might have done jail time, I don't.
What do
recall
you
that,
think
but-
about? What do you think about if you have pedophiliac tendencies, but you don't act on them, but you're watching child porn? It's not as bad as actually fucking a kid? Well, no, because someone else is fucking a kid. Fuck.
well, dude,
What?
no. Okay, so
Because you're watching a porn. Of
I don't
some-
know. I
of a
will
kid
say
getting
that I
fucked.
get very awkward watching like the early Harry Potter movies now
because of Emma Watson.
because of Emma Watson.
Oh,
Understandable.
because she's a woman now. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're actually watching a kid get fucked, then yeah, that's a crime. That's child porn. But
But it's not as bad as actually fucking a kid. Or is it?
well, I mean, I
I would say it. You're talking about things on a very dark scale here, and like potato is like being in a room while somebody gets murdered is not as bad as
guilty
actually
by
murdering
association.
somebody.
Well, you're not involved in it. No, it's like watching someone get murdered.
You're
Doesn't make
creating
you- doesn't make you
the
a murderer.
demand for a child to get fucked on camera.
Yeah, and that's not
okay,
cool.
that's a
yeah,
good point.
that's
You're
not cool.
you're creating a demand to supply the
Yeah, I mean-
child rapist economy.
Are
Oh, God.
cartels really all that bad? It's the people doing the drugs that are creating their problems, right?
Fuck that.
That's interesting.
Okay, that's now. I know we're supposed to be talking about Mike Tyson, but you're getting me into some.
What about
some
what about a sex
philosophical
doll
shit.
that looks like a kid?
That's
But let's say you just are the unlucky guy that wants to fuck kids, but you're a fucking grown man and you have morals and you're not gonna do it ever. You're not gonna do it, but you're also fucking horny. Would you fucking? Can you fuck a doll?
Joel,
so
why-
I'm trying to get YouTube
why-
subscribers, so
why
I'm going to
is
say
this-
no.
Why has this come up on multiple episodes? Is there something that you want to talk about?
Because if there's pedophiles out there that
Is
don't
there a
act,
certain something on a boat in LA Harbor you've been waiting for a long time to come off?
I don't want to fuck kids, and I hate anyone that does.
No,
Well, that does it. But if you've got a mental disorder that's not your fault,
okay. So it's
you should get help.
Well, now you're asking about is it a mental disorder that can be fixed, or is it a...
Well, it can't be fixed.
I
Can't be
agree
fixed.
that it can't be fixed. It's strange that this came up in a Mike Tyson episode because, as far as I know, Mike Tyson never fucked a child or had any
at least not while as an
inclination.
adult.
Yeah.
His early years, I'm sure he probably was banging at 12
Oh, most
or
likely,
something,
because
right?
I mean, he could overpower anybody even when he was 14 years old. So anybody that Mike Tyson wants to fuck, he's gonna fuck.
Dude, I waited a week to hook up with this girl because I was 20, 21. She was 17. And we were about to hook up, and I was like, how old are you? And she was like, I'm 18. I was like, let me see your ID. Looked, and she was not 18. It was like a week away for her birthday. And I was like, come back next weekend, and we'll fucking hook up.
She came back next
She
weekend.
came back, yeah. And then we hooked up. But,
Yeah,
God bless her.
But
Yeah.
I waited.
So actually,
I waited.
I got handed a fake ID one time.
I would
That was
actually,
awkward.
well, statute of limitations. Watch out for that. Don't,
then you
don't
did it?
admit
Oh,
to
nothing
it.
happened.
You still banged
Oh,
her?
okay.
No,
good.
nothing happened.
She was how old? 12? I'm just kidding.
No. Not,
But she was a Lori Maddox 12.
And-
like
and
she,
technically-
she looked very mature.
technically, in the state of North Carolina, we were within the bounds.
Because you were around the same
Was it
age.
like the-
after
the
16? It's a 4-year rule.
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And but like things were about to happen, and then her friend's like, "How old did she say she was?" And I said, "Like this age." She's like, "No,
No, she's lying. Yeah.
yeah, no." I was like, "Oh, well, you're a liar."
Bye.
Glad I figured that one out.
So even though, like I was saying, this is a Mike Tyson episode, I'm kind of interested in knowing your opinions.
On pedophilia.
Well, I mean, I think we all agree.
All pedophiles should be killed.
Yes, all pedophiles should be dragged out behind the nearest building and shot in the back of the head. But like you were just saying, a non-offending pedophile which
Yeah.
I guess now they call them MAPs, minor attracted persons.
Persons that fuck those people.
Yeah, still fuck them.
Yeah.
But do you create childlike sex dolls to prevent them from victimizing?
As a deterrent to go like sex traffic children.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to fuck kids, but you weren't going to, but you also wanted to get off, you're either gonna watch child pornography, which is fucked up, almost as bad.
Which, like you were
Okay,
saying,
my
is
palms are
creating a
sweating
market.
right now.
which
over this
procreates a
fucking
culture.
point.
Or you fuck a fucking a toy. What's wrong with that?
They make Shrek sex toys.
You can fuck Shrek. but
You can fuck Shrek if
Okay,
you want
I'll say
to.
I understand somebody fucking a Shrek sex toy about as much.
Oh,
as
that's
I,
just fucking
as much as I
gross, dude.
understand somebody fucking
That's an orc.
I understand
What
it.
about
ogre.
orc rights?
I
Oh, it's an
understand
ogre.
that. I understand that at the same level as somebody fucking a child sex doll. I'll
So
leave it at that.
Just want
I
to
don't get either one of them.
just want to throw it out there that this is a hypothetical conversation. This is nothing that any of us are endorsing. We're talking about very sensitive topics.
Yeah.
But seriously,
well,
like,
what if you were just a dude that like all you wanted to do was fuck trees in public? That was what got you off. Let's not make it kids.
I've met that
It needs to
person.
be in public. You need to be. You
there's
want
actually a
people
name for
around
it. It's called dendrophilia.
Yeah.
wanting to fuck trees.
Yeah, I had a
But I
buddy
mean,
who would
you
always
fucking
talk
tree
about
in your
seeing the
backyard.
right naughty pine.
Oh shit! You knew a dude that wanted to fuck plants.
I don't know if he ever did, but he talked sexually about trees a lot.
But that's cool. Like you can fuck a tree in your backyard.
And
or
then one day I walked on him banging his girlfriend in a Groot outfit, so I don't know if that.
I am Groot.
And he was being aggressive, by the way. I kind of
Wait,
felt
was
bad
it
for her.
okay? Now here's adding another level to this. Was it adult Groot from the first Guardians of the Galaxy, or was it baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2?
Man, the Tyson episode got fucking dark.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go this direction either, but that's
What,
how
like,
most of
so
these
what if you
episodes
wanted
go.
to fuck in public all the time, but it's illegal? So what you do to get your rocks off is you would find like a VR app where it looks like you're in public, and then you jerk off. That's fine. That's the same as like putting on a VR headset and it looks you're like fucking a pussy butt, but in the VR headset it's a fucking little kid.
Yeah. Yeah, but at what point is that not enough?
Well, yeah. Is it like weed where it's a gateway drug?
Is that encouraging? Because everybody's been
Is it a
down.
gateway sex crime?
No, everybody's been down this rabbit hole.
that's the
everyone, and I bring it up all the fucking time. The wife and kids are gone for the weekend.
You jerk off
At the end of a 2-hour Pornhub rabbit hole, you're just like, am I some kind of fucking monster?
Oh,
but you never
The
go
post-nut
you never
clarity
go
gets
that,
weird.
You don't
But-
go that far.
No, but it's
You go
sexuality.
as far as the videos will let you.
No, but
well, that's because you're impatient. If you have one of these,
sexuality escalates to the point where if somebody's doing this on VR all the time, eventually they're going to be like, I'm bored with fucking VR,
have
right?
have
then-
you
then you just
watched?
take a break. It's like when you're a cokehead. You have to like just not do drugs for a week, and then you can go back and you like it again.
Oh, that's easy to say for somebody who's not a cokehead. No,
Well, I don't have a very strong addictive personality.
Never done it.
coke? Never.
Nope.
Me neither, actually.
Yeah, don't do it. We
Actually,
talked about
the
it on
very-
the Valentine's Day episode. It is the equivalent of love.
Oh, is coke and cocaine the same thing? What's
Yeah.
the difference between coke, crack, cocaine, and
So
Crack
crack.
is a rock form, right?
Well, crack is also like a cooked down form of cocaine. You mix it with like I think baking powder and something else.
it's the shittiest.
So for-
version of
According
it.
to Whitney Houston, it's cheap.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, so for the people
And the CIA
who
created
aren't
it.
experienced with being a degenerate drug addict,
like you,
no, I was never
like you were,
I was no, I was
like
I
you
was,
almost were,
almost maybe,
like you thought about being once.
thought about. I kind of loosely played with the idea of it, but with crack, what it is it's so there's a
Did you ever do Atlantic cocaine off of a penis? Asking for a friend.
no.
Okay, so
Not a penis.
you were never a drug addict then.
Yeah. See,
Is it only a penis that counts?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
not a drug addict. So with crack, there's a concept that is called. Some people call it stepping on.
Yeah.
Where you mix the drug with something else so you get the pure form of the drug as a dealer,
Cut
and
it with
then
a bunch of
and then
shit.
you step on it and you cut it to make it a larger amount of the drug, but
To
you
make more money.
mix it with things like even like arsenic and shit goes
Yeah.
into that,
Fentanyl now.
which back in my day, what it is they would throw shit like arsenic in it, and that's why you would fucking grind your teeth all night when you're trying to go to bed. But with crack, it's a similar thing, where what they were doing is they created a new form of cocaine that you could cook and create a much larger amount of it,
Yep.
and it would let you sell more
More.
for
So
less
crack
money.
is shitty coke.
Yeah.
And,
What's
well,
the difference between coke and cocaine? Nothing.
Coke and cocaine are the same
The
thing.
same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A polar bear and a white Santa Claus.
Okay.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, but no, I had a happy childhood, so I wasn't really big into drugs. But now I have, hereditary alcoholism.
Well, yeah, you don't
and-
need to brag about it.
and resentment for my parents. So
Well,
you
that's a
drink.
normal childhood.
yeah,
Speaking of somebody who hasn't had a normal childhood,
yes,
Well done.
Mike Tyson. Fuck, I
Man.
was
Oh, I thought no.
I was fucking up all the
Speaking of someone who's
segues.
had a bad childhood, ghost bed.
if you're gonna have sex with a child sex doll,
Do it on a ghost bed.
at least Ghostbed is forgiving. But no, we do not condone having
and we're
sex
back
with
from that
children.
cut. And
That's not a child. It's a toy.
But if you are going to have sex with any
Anything.
consenting
Not a child.
living being that is not a child, like I said,
now we're getting into
consenting.
Is the sex doll consenting?
Well, it doesn't have AI yet.
I think I just gave Coop a panic attack.
Oh my god, am I a rapist? Anyway, if you were going to make sweet love with your sexual partner, the best place to do it is on a ghost bed.
Mm-hmm.
The Iconoblast podcast was formerly presented by ghostbed.com/drinking bros. Ghostbed used to be a loyal sponsor of the Drinking Bros for 5 years now, and everyone here in the studio is in love with their mattresses and pillows. Until we just cost the entire fucking network this sponsorship.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a phone call from Ross tomorrow. I think.
Yeah, it was Bill's fault.
Nope.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it'll
no,
be
You
that's-
told me to
it's
say it.
all on
I
him.
stopped myself. You told me to say it.
I didn't say a word.
Nope,
Cut that
it
part out.
was all on
I was
Bill.
about to say you have control of the audio
Yeah,
edit.
That's right.
And they're gonna cut this into me being like, I have.
It's gonna cut to. It's gonna cut to a close up.
Don't say it.
It's gonna
Don't give
cut
more
to a close up
ammunition.
of me that's obviously shot on a different day. That's like, Bill, don't say it. Don't, Bill, no. And then you say
Yeah, like
it.
outside.
Ghostbed makes their high-quality mattresses right here in the good old USA, and each mattress comes with a 20-year warranty, which 20 years is apparently too old for Bill Schofield. It was your decision to come on the show. You can try a Ghostbed mattress for 101 nights, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can return it, no questions asked.
And get a younger one.
And get a younger one. Jesus Christ. Why is it that not only Iconoblast, but like Conman and Iconoblast, it all devolves into pedophilia?
Yeah, it's weird because we hate them. You
True.
make fun of what you hate the most.
Actually,
You
true.
try to make light
we're
of whatever
not
the darkest parts are of the world.
we're not taking it seriously, which we probably should, considering how dark the topic is. But yeah, fuck pedophiles. I mean, don't actually fuck them, especially if you're under the age of 18.
You could fuck a
Then you're just-
pedophile.
Well, you can.
If
I've
you're
seen,
an adult.
I've seen some pretty hot female teachers that banged their students.
It seems like it's almost nothing but hot teachers that bang their students.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though.
Lucky fucking kid.
But they do it on a ghost bed.
But they do it on a ghost bed. Their mattresses and pillows have cooling technology to help keep you cool at night, which is especially helpful if you're getting fucked by your teacher on a ghost bed.
God damn, I don't think this episode's gonna air.
I am having some doubts about it now at this point. Well, Bill, I got to say, it's your fault for getting that bottle of Maker's Mark. You can buy a mattress for around $35 per month, and they have no money down, 0% financing plans. GhostBed also offers bundles so you can get everything you need in one convenient package. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and then pick your bundle. So whether you just need a mattress and a frame or you want it all, like their cooling pillows and sheets, you can always get the best bang for your buck. And if you're going to bang any... Nope.
No.
Yeah, let's not.
I almost went there. Right now, GhostBed is offering a flash sale where you can get 40% off when you buy a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything when you use the promo code DrinkinBros. Head over to ghostbed.com forward slash DrinkinBros to take advantage of all their awesome deals. Again, that is ghostbed.com forward slash DrinkinBros. GhostBed, sleep so good it's scary.
Dude, what about fucking Bride of Chucky? They fuck.
Yeah, but they're adult dolls.
No, they're not. Chucky's a kid. Chucky's a little...
But
yeah,
they're
but
adult
it's
souls trapped in
yeah.
the bodies of children.
Oh, so that's what... Okay, so you sell a Chucky doll that you can fuck because it's a grown man that looks like a kid.
I have never seen that, Joel.
Yeah, they literally have a sex scene. It's two.
Oh wait, no,
it's
but
two child dolls.
That's
fucking.
getting into some weird territory where it's like, oh well,
you could fuck a Chucky doll and that's fine because it's a
Well, no,
there's an adult soul in it.
You're talking about identifying as. I mean, that's pretty much.
It's a
saying,
child
like,
sex
I
doll that
identify
identifies as an
different age.
adult.
So
then you can fuck it.
Jesus
by-
Christ. If the right authorities see this show, I will never see my kids again.
Moving on. So
I identify
anyway,
as a guy that wants to hear about Mike Tyson right now.
yeah, me too.
Bill, it was your choice to come
You
on
broke,
the show.
yeah, I'm broken now. I'm fucking broke. You did it.
Speaking of
Finally.
little children, little Mike Tyson joined a street gang at only 12 years old and frequently found himself a visitor of the juvenile court system. By 13, he had already racked up 38 arrests for
Holy
petty
shit,
crimes and assaults. That is fucking... He's the greatest of all time.
38
juvenile
as
crime. Yeah, I think if he has a better arrest to conviction record than a better fight record.
what's his
Well,
fight
actually,
record?
Do you remember off the top of your head, Bill?
I know he's lost.
fight record,
He's
it's,
lost 6 times and won 48 or
33 to 6 or
33
something
to
like that.
So his arrest record is better than his fight record?
Sounds like it.
38
Fuck.
arrests. Yeah.
Yeah, 38 arrests.
If that's
for-
wrong, someone will let us know, I'm sure.
Well, no, that's 38 arrests by the time he was 13.
Yeah.
And that's not including his
0
later
convictions.
allegations.
Yeah.
I guess you can't call them allegations because
He was
went
convicted.
to prison for it. So, spoiler alert. Mike had also gotten into the habit of utterly pulverizing anyone with the nerve to mock his high-pitched voice and lisp, which, holy shit, if you were going to be anyone that has a fucked up high voice and a lisp,
Might as well be Mike
you
Tyson.
want to be Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had to have played into his development as a fighter, is like needing to defend himself from all these people that were bullying.
Making fun of him.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a story later on about how much he hates bullies and the insane measures he would go to defend somebody from a bully, regardless if that bully was human or not.
Regardless of the species.
Yeah.
That's actually how we're going
And
to cap off the
there's-
episode.
There's some rumors about his voice and stuff being from like his mother's drug use and shit as a baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because she was smoking, toking, jacking, jerking while pregnant.
In 1978, Tyson was convicted of armed robbery and sent to the Tryon school.
Tryon, I think, is what it was.
Yeah,
Because he's a
Tryon.
lethal weapon himself.
Yeah.
He didn't have a gun. It was just his biceps.
He was sent to the Tryon School for Boys in Johnstown, New York, where he continued his aggressive behavior. Constantly fighting the older youths at the boys' home, Tyson was on the path to become just another statistic. Just another kid from the streets destined to remain in the cycle of corrective institutionalization. Bill, you had to have known that I was going to be drinking. Why are you putting these big fucking words in this?
By the way, is institutionalization not a word?
Institutionalization.
It is a word, but I had to use spell correct to figure out how to spell
well,
it properly.
I kept spell checking. I was like, that's not the word I want. That's not the
No,
word I
that-
want. And I
that's-
went to Google and found it. It was the exact same way I typed it,
Institutionalized.
and the spell check kept fucking me up.
Yeah, no, I had to use Google Docs to correct the spelling because little peek behind the curtain, I'm actually a fucking moron.
Institutionalization.
There you go. It was Tyson's physical strength and natural fighting ability that eventually caught the attention of one of the school's correction officers, Bobby Stewart. Stewart, a former boxer himself, saw the potential in Mike to become an outstanding fighter and began training him. Stewart went on to introduce him to a man that would have the greatest impact on Tyson's life.
Yeah.
Cus D'Amato. Is Cus short for something?
Yeah.
Like custard?
No, it's like an Italian name. But
Okay.
nobody,
Fettuccine.
like apparently nobody, I actually had to search to find it to the point like nobody ever used it.
Really?
His real name was Fettuccine.
So,
Drink.
Fettuccine D'Amato. Do we have to drink for the Italians?
Yeah, fuck them.
Drink again.
But
Actually,
you're talking about Julius Caesar.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm half English, so fuck the French. But
We don't drink for that, though.
Yeah, I won't drink for that
I
either.
think we all agree on that.
No, I actually I just posted a story to my Instagram not that long ago showing that hating French people is actually the national pastime of being French.
Of being French, yeah, they hate themselves so much. Right?
Oh yeah. Almost as much as I do. Hate myself, not the French.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
French are second to me hating myself. 73-year-old D'Amato, a seasoned boxing manager and owner of Catskills Boxing Club, was instantly blown away by the 14-year-old's natural fighting abilities.
Mick.
Eh,
We can call him Mick.
Oh, fuck, you got to drink for that. That's a racial slur.
No, that's the coach's name in Rocky.
Well, no,
That's
it's
a
not
racial
a racial slur
slur.
because he's not Italian.
Oh, no, isn't...
No, he is Italian. He's not Irish.
Okay, all right. So,
So.
Not a slur.
So you can spit that drink back out.
Yeah. Vomit.
After 10 minutes of sparring with Tyson, Cuss predicted the young boy would become the world's youngest heavyweight champion. D'Amato took Mike under his wing, training him and introducing him to the sweet science of pulverizing people's faces. The two grew to become close friends, with D'Amato eventually serving as the father figure Tyson had desperately needed, which I appreciated your interpretation of like what Tyson needed in his life, where he was desperately looking for people that specifically desperately looking for a male father figure to try and impress.
Yep.
And then D'Amato came into the picture, and that made a huge change in his life, which I think there
Give
are
some direction.
Well-
there's still interviews where Tyson, when he talks about D'Amato, like he'll get
fucking cry.
Oh,
choked
to
up.
this day, he'll get choked up.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, that seems to be a recurring theme for a lot of famous people that grew up without fathers, right? Especially ones that have drama in their lives, is they find father figures in people they shouldn't be considering father figures, which happens to Tyson later on down the road.
It's daddy issues, which, like we were saying earlier in the episode, we can relate to.
Yeah.
I know I sure as fuck can. The two grew to become close friends, with D'Amato eventually serving as the father figure that Tyson had desperately needed. They formed a bond so close that Cuss and his wife became Mike's legal guardians after his mother's sudden death when Tyson was only 16. Together, the D'Amatos began shaping the young man into a formidable fighter, but a teenager that was calm, secure, and no longer filled with rage. Which, what kind of fucking teenager is calm, secure, and no longer filled with rage?
Yeah, from what I read, like, and it's been
that beats the
known,
shit
and
out of
it's
people?
been known, like, under Cus D'Amato's like tutelage.
Oh, is it Coos, not Cuss?
Cus.
Coos?
Here's the thing: people say it. People say
D'Amato.
it so quickly. I thought his last name was Cus D'Amato, but no, it's Cus.
Oh, it was all like it was one
It's
word.
Cus D'Amato. But yeah, no, they talked about how even though an incredibly imposing person, even as a teenager, whenever he would walk to the ring with Cus D'Amato, incredibly calm, like very nice,
There was a
very
respect
very
layer
polite, very respectful to the other fighters and stuff. And then once Cus died, shit went off.
That's
the
when
rails.
everything changed.
Yep.
Okay, this is getting a little bit ahead of the story, but anybody who's familiar with the way Mike Tyson is now, he's developed a certain amount of like stoicism
Yeah.
where his whole
He's the fucking coolest he's ever been.
Oh, now? And he's
yeah,
still terrifying.
Still fucking terrifying.
Still terrifying
Have you heard about why Joe Rogan has a table as wide as he does?
Yeah, he said it was like being across a table from a trained lion.
Yeah.
It's like he was nice, he was friendly, but this man has an air about him that he will murder you in a second.
So I need to get a bigger table.
Yeah. We're going to need a bigger table. That has to be insane to be that dangerous and intimidating of a person where even when you're just having a casual conversation with somebody, they are so intimidated and afraid by what you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
That they will.
Isn't that in the Bible? What's the meek will rule the earth?
The meek will inherit the earth.
That's what that is. That's what Mike Tyson is.
The bullied kid that grew up to be the fucking baddest.
Because what it means, what that means in the Bible, right, is you train to be the best, but then you don't use your sword.
Fuck, I never actually thought about it that way before. But even in martial arts and stuff, like that's something that
so
that is consistently
he can literally kill anybody he wants, but he's choosing not to. But everyone knows that he can, so everyone's like, whatever he says is he's in charge.
Martial arts is I do martial arts training with like UFC people, and they are genuinely like the calmest, nicest people on the planet.
Yeah.
And I think it's become like because of like I know violence so well.
They're not
like I don't need to be
anymore.
angry. I don't need to be upset with you. Like I'm just gonna be me and move on, man.
I don't necessarily have anything to prove for myself,
right?
So I
You're
don't
also
need
not
to be
worried about
that
anything.
aggressive.
Yeah.
So your stress levels go away when you know you can kill. If you're Mike Tyson, you can walk down Old Torf anytime you want, and you're not even going to flinch. Life is great because you can kill anybody.
Yeah, that's
maybe that's why Dan Holloway is just so calm all the time.
Yeah, that's
dude.
If you want to get rid of some stress, learn how to kill
because
somebody.
not only can he wants to,
and has and has multiple times. But yeah, that's a really good point. That the like getting into the whole philosophy of violence. That's even one of my favorite people, Jordan Peterson, has said that weak men are much more dangerous than strong men.
They're the ones that go shoot up schools and shit.
Yes, exactly. So somebody like Mike Tyson, who has this huge amount of power that he's able to exert on other people if he needs to. Well, it seems like earlier on in his life, he was using that for I don't want to say his own personal gain, but like using it irresponsibly.
Right.
Yeah.
But later on in his life, especially now, like considering the last fight that
last fight
Tyson
was so
did,
fucking sweet, dude.
Dude, I
like just
Roy Jones Jr.
Personality wise, fucking loved him after that. Again, I already did, but just
me too. Like before,
how
literally
stoked he was, how happy he was. It was so cool to see.
Before the last fight, I always thought of Tyson as being like this aggressive, abusive, like rapist.
Yeah. Like
And
a mad dog you keep in a cage, right?
Yes, exactly. And then seeing the way that he was in the last fight that he had with, it was Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr., yeah.
His personality and like his temperament after the fight was over, he was so fucking positive and
I think he's found a way to channel his shit through boxing and weed.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And from what I hear, from what he talks about a lot is his.
Do you listen to his podcast?
I have, yeah.
Dude,
whenever I can find time, when the Drinker Bros aren't doing shit.
There's a lot of podcasts to listen to.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think
it's hard to keep up with them.
I think he's found some kind of peace to where you can enjoy the boxing without having to be like a menace to society about it, right?
And it seems like he's kind of bought into the whole idea of stoicism, like which is a very,
was it Zen? He talks about Zen a lot. I don't know if that.
Yeah, they're very, very similar concepts.
I hope he starts training some motherfuckers.
Isn't he supposed to have another fight?
Yeah, he wants
like
to fight.
sometime
wants
this
to.
year.
He wants to. There are a lot of people who just don't want to fucking fight him.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't imagine.
Have you seen?
I
Go
have-
go to Mike Tyson's Instagram and look at his fucking training
He's
videos.
still fucking crazy.
Dude, even that's
I wouldn't even hold pads for that fucking. Dude.
That's what Joe Rogan was saying. Where like the first time he
was, like,
meeting
out of
up with him, he was like
shape
out of
and-
shape, and then when he was ready for the fight, totally different person, just totally fucking jacked and ready to kill. But he was also in control of himself, which seems to be different than the way that he was when he was younger.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. I wrote all about this shit, man. Like he spirals quick.
Oh yeah, naughty little Tyson. We're still in naughty Tyson time right now.
Yeah.
We're actually getting to the naughtiest Tyson time. It was Tyson's physical strength and natural fighting ability that eventually caught the attention of one of the school's correction officers, Bobby Stewart. Stewart, a former boxer himself, saw the potential in Mike to become an outstanding fighter and began training him. Then he introduced him to Cus D'Amato.
Cus D'Amato, yes.
So, under D'Amato's tutelage, Tyson found immediate success as an amateur boxer. Mike won gold medals at both the 1981 and 82 Junior Olympics, as well as gold at the 1984 National Golden Gloves tournament. Mike's name was gaining respect and notoriety in boxing circles, but the world still... I am so fucking pissed that I broke my glasses because it's throwing off the
perspective.
the focal
We'll get
range.
you some new glasses.
Yeah, I'm going to need to. That was the...
You need to move the lamp back over?
yeah, possibly. That makes it a little bit easier.
I need my glasses.
I mean, my readers.
I feel like such a fucking
You're an old piece of shit.
old
Coop.
man. Yeah, I'm finally getting some... Well, I can't compete. Actually, I
dude.
can't compete with either one of you guys. I got a handful
Right?
of grays
I
here
got
on my
it trimmed.
beard.
I got a lightning bolt put in, by the way, for the trip.
Oh, saw that at the
Nice.
But,
Hard AF Seltzer.
Dude, I started
release
going
party.
gray. Actually, it's really funny. My beard went first, and it was this right here, and it was literally like 6 months after getting married.
Yeah,
And then
that'll do it.
this-
That'll do
no,
it to you.
and then
Understandably.
This side right here, this corner of my chin, right after having my first kid. And then after the second kid, they connected.
Yeah.
That
And then, I swear to
seems-
Christ, that's a true story.
I would not doubt that.
yeah, I
because
believe it.
women and children will drain the fucking life out of you. In my experience, just
Oh no, you were
How
at the
many-
house
how many
party. You heard
children
Holly
do you
talk
have?
about. I love my children,
oh god,
but they suck the life out of you.
oh man, she summed that up really really well. Which shout out to Holly. Thanks for coming out to the Seltzer
Yeah.
release party,
Dude, that party was awesome. Meeting everybody. Davey, Charlie,
dude.
Holly.
Davey, Charlie, Holly, a whole lot of people with
Bill.
EY at the end of their names.
It was cool meeting Bill Schofield. I like that.
That
was pretty cool.
Bill was kind of a
He
douche.
was so fucking hammered. Do you remember when he pulled his dick out?
I can't. I have never.
that
seen,
what
Well,
happened?
it was like a.
Is that what I did?
It was like a thin.
No wonder nobody fucking talked to me yesterday. Like Jesus Christ.
Wait, is this?
That was
Is it
that was
thawed out?
Strand.
Yeah,
that was frozen.
That was
a couple
frozen
hours
solid.
ago.
Hard AF Seltzer.
Hard AF Seltzer. When you don't want to remember the rest of the night.
Stay hard.
Stay
Dude, that
hard.
shit is. I got to that party, took the first sip of that lemon lime. I was like, this shit is dangerous.
Dude, it
They work.
actually, very, very much is. It gets the job done. I'll put it that way.
No, who else gets the job done? Mike Tyson.
Mike, goddamn, thank you for the
Tyson.
segue help. Fuck, I'm still so bad at segues. We're like 72 episodes in, and I'm still terrible at segues. D'Amato was eventually the father figure they needed. Under D'Amato's tutelage, Tyson
He
found
just won the
immediate
Golden
success,
Gloves.
won the Golden Gloves, and that brings us to Mike's name was gaining respect and notoriety in boxing circles, but the world still had no clue what
Custamato.
Custamato. I don't know why
It's
that.
an odd name. It's an odd
it's
name.
it's a-
Custamato. Come on, what's the matter with you?
But the world still had no clue what Custamato had shaped the talented young man into. A one-man shock and awe campaign. A 5'7" monster. A wrecking machine that would take not only boxing by storm, but the world as well.
By the way, I'm really proud of that one.
It's a good line.
That was a good line. I'm sorry that I flubbed that, but that was a good line.
Yeah, you're butchering his work.
I know. Well,
But you always do. That's why we love you.
that's because of Hard AF Seltzer
Yeah.
And all the whiskey you've been drinking.
and Maker's Mark.
Shout out Maker's Mark. Got engaged
Nope,
at Maker's Mark.
They're not sponsors of the network.
Yeah.
Fuck Maker's.
Yeah. Fuck Maker's Mark.
Jesus. This is going downhill fast.
Yeah, it is.
I'm having fun though. This is good.
Iron Mike Tyson made his professional boxing debut in March of 1985 at the age of 18. Fighting frequently, Tyson fought 15 times in his first year,
Fuck. It's awesome.
with the quality of his opponents increasing with each subsequent fight.
That's a fight every month plus a little bit more.
That's a lot.
Holy shit! Don't. I think you were the one that was telling me that MMA fighters
Once a year.
they'll go like once a year.
On the average.
Some of the
yeah.
journeymen, like the guys I train with, they want to go. They try for 2, 2 to
Try
3.
to get 2 in a year.
2 a year.
Is that just
But
with?
that's because the UFC pays like shit. But
Is there a difference between like how much you need to space out your fights with MMA and
Kickboxing's like the
boxing?
craziest. Kickboxing, they fight
kickboxing
like
just-
fucking 100 times
yeah.
a year. They're out of their
What the
fucking minds.
fuck?
I think the money and the expectations of performance in boxing are just both higher. So now,
Really,
yeah.
even over MMA?
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
boxing's always been the
boxing
highest,
money is insane.
highest paid
Yeah.
sport.
Really? What the fuck? It seems
It's starting to change.
less.
Now,
it's
I,
starting to
I will
finally
say
change,
the
but-
UFC is making a shit ton of fucking money.
Dana White seems
What
to be
they
doing
do, how they
pretty
pay
well for
their
himself.
how they pay their fighters is probably the biggest point of contention with people with the UFC.
Yeah, a lot of people talk
Really?
shit that they don't get paid enough.
Yeah, you're talking
But-
like a guy like because the UFC has hundreds of fighters under contract, right? Trying to get fights, and it's like if you win one fight, which by the way, like this is your profession, is to be a fighter. You're training for this. If you win, you get $50,000, and you might get one fight a year.
Unless
But
you're
with-
the top
And you're
dogs.
also not getting insurance
With
right?
boxing, the purse is up in the millions.
if you make it-
usually, right?
Well, the championship fights in UFC, they're getting paid a lot now.
Yeah,
Like,
those guys. If
like,
you make a name for yourself,
uh,
making money.
last I looked it up, I looked up like what Ronda Rousey was getting. She'd get $600,000 for a fight, and she was the top of the UFC at the time.
Yeah, but
That's-
yeah, some
that's
of
over-
these, some of these people.
That's just the purse. Like that's the thing is she also had whatever sponsors she had, endorsements,
Oh, okay.
everything else, advertising, commercials.
yeah,
blah,
you can
blah, blah.
make money for yourself in the UFC.
They're
but
still
for
making
a lot,
a couple
for a lot of
million per
people.
fight.
Yeah, I would.
For a lot of people,
I
the
would
money you
imagine
might
so.
make, I wouldn't do it.
But Floyd is getting $200 million per fight, and
Yeah.
and fucking Conor McGregor's getting $4 million a fight. You know, that's the difference.
Fucking insane.
Well, and not when Conor fought. When Conor fought Mayweather, he got
That was the biggest payday he ever got. I think
was
I think
50 or 100 or
no,
something?
Floyd got
Floyd got 260.
Floyd got
right?
260
Yeah.
and Connor got like 110.
100. Yeah,
Is that some sort of creature crawling around?
That's what I was just wondering. You guys heard that too, right?
I'm telling you, this fucking place is haunted, dude.
let's listen for a second. Well, that's the
just-
foil from the wind.
The foil, but
I heard something over here. It might have been the foil. I thought there was like a
oh
possum
no, I
or
was
something.
hearing something over here that sounded like it was.
chittering. A
Kick
rat.
the wall.
Yeah.
Kick the wall. No, shh. You guys are out of your minds.
Well, thank God there's a new studio being built right now.
If there was a rat in here, Bo would not be sleeping.
Oh no, she's
she's
getting
getting
old,
old.
but
She seems a lot like my dog.
she's also on a ghost bed, which would have
True.
been a much better segue for the ghost bed ad that we actually fucking
Instead of
did.
Yeah, quick cut
And
this
the
and go
weird
back to this.
fucking pedophilia ad we did.
No, why?
Know how comfortable she is right now? As comfortable as Mike Tyson walking into a boxing ring.
Good point. Another good segue and getting back into the topic. Over the next 2 years, Tyson continued his dominance inside the squared circle, collecting title belts and cashing bigger and bigger checks. It was during this time he also developed his signature look of black shorts, black shoes, and a white towel over his head.
Yeah.
Mike's seemingly unstoppable boxing presence, mixed with his growing opulent lifestyle outside of the ring, had the world hooked. On June 27th, 1988, at the height of Tyson mania, the world watched as the 34-0 Iron Mike Tyson defeated the 31-0 Michael Spinks?
Yeah, Michael Spinks.
Spinks?
the white dude?
That's it. That's a shitty last name to have.
Which dude was that?
The white dude?
I just remember the fight that I liked the most was when he fought that white dude that thought he was hot shit.
Oh, those talking a bunch of shit. That's later on. That's later
Okay.
on. No, Michael Spinks is a black man.
He's black?
Capital B.
God.
Drink.
You're so immature, dude.
I don't know how to handle all this new wokeness.
What? Yeah. Why is it all of a sudden I show up and now this whole media company might come crashing down?
I would say this might be our second most offensive episode so far.
It's definitely not the most offensive.
Yeah,
You
definitely
get
not
way worse.
definitely not the most offensive.
You heard that?
This?
It's fucking you, dude.
Oh shit!
Guys are pussies, dude.
I'm not a pussy. I thought it was just like a rat chewing on the wall or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's definitely
I'm
rats
fucking
here
hungry.
because,
I thought it was a rat.
We've literally seen rats running through here.
Good point.
Well, also,
Actual rats,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a rat in here the other day. Well, there was like
not
a month or two
mice.
ago.
Rats.
Big old
yeah,
fucker.
yeah, big fucking
daddy.
rat. But also last night,
Bats too.
Oh, well, I get
Oh, yeah,
I
we-
get bats in my house.
in Austin, I think it
It's
has
about
the
the Batsia, yeah.
it's got the
the
largest
bridge.
population of.
Yeah, I wanted to go see that. I wanted to go see that last time. I always fucking forget about it and don't go see it. But
Oh, the Bat Bridge.
yeah,
Yeah, well, apparently a whole shitload of them died off because of the freeze last year.
yeah.
There's like three
But-
left.
No, yeah. I get.
Still enough bats that one or two
there a
of them
tennis
ended
racket
up in the
around?
studio.
Has anybody bought a tennis racket yet?
We like to
no.
use 2 brooms and a blanket, like from Black Sheep.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but that sounds like normal night in the bedroom with me and Mrs. Schofield.
Well, no, we were talking about catching bats, not
Not catching dick, bro.
marital relations.
No, but yeah, I get. My house was built in like 32, and it's surrounded by like 100-year-old oak trees, so we get bats occasionally. And Bill Schofield turns into fucking Andre Agassi real quick. It's back there.
This sound? That's me.
It is you.
No,
that is him. I'm looking at it right now.
No, I hear that, but I'm hearing something from over here
the
also.
sound is bouncing off the wall.
Fucking. That's why.
That's why you're a sound guy. You should know that.
No, I was gonna say that's why. What was his name? Bob Hoskins from the Super Mario movie. That's why he
Really?
was
You
so
went
good
Super
at his-
Mario and
at
not
his
Roger
job.
Rabbit?
Well, no, because in the
Can you fucking stop doing that, dude? It's freaking me out.
It's my
Okay, that-
shoelace tapping the side of the seat. You guys, relax. It's
no,
not a
but
ghost.
Bob Hoskins in the Super Mario movie with John Leguizamo.
Yeah, Mario, and Luigi Mario.
He pointed
Yeah.
out that people who are experienced with, pipes know what direction the sound's coming from because they're able to tell if it's the. Are you still fucking with?
If it's the echo or if it's the actual sound.
Yes. I'm still convinced that there's a rat in here because I saw one.
Why do you care? I don't care if there's a rat in here.
Did anybody check the dog for a wire?
Boa?
If there's a rat in here, then there's a rat in here. What? Who gives a shit?
Okay, well at least I'm sleeping here with Boa tonight. On June 27th, 1988, at the height of Tyson mania, the world watched as the 34-0 Iron Mike Tyson defeated the 31-0 Michael Spinks in Atlantic City. A 91-second flurry of blows was all it took to TKO his opponent. So TKO is
Technical knockout, which means he didn't get knocked out. He got knocked down so hard and was so out of it that the ref stops the fight.
Okay, so that's like throwing in the towel?
Well, throwing in the towel, your team does
There's a
that
count
for you.
They count, and you're fucked.
There's a count, right? Or a TKO is either you lose the count or the ref was like you
Ref is
beat,
like,
you
"You
beat the
can't
count,
fight."
and they're like the ref's like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "Oh, well, huh?
And
Where
they're
am
like,
I?" And the
"Fight's
ref's like, "Nope,
over."
we're done." Like you're
Okay, so in
Which
a
happens
a
all
knockout-
the fucking time in
a
boxing.
knockout
now.
is technically like you go down and you don't get up.
yeah, your arms
Yeah.
stiffen out and you fall down.
Yeah, your family's worried about you and shit like
Yeah.
that. And
So wait,
and that's like
technical.
what happened when Floyd fought Connor.
yeah, the
He
ref
he
stopped
didn't
the
even
fight.
he didn't even fall on the ground, but he was just getting his ass kicked.
He
so
couldn't
the ref,
keep his hands up anymore.
Yeah, the
the
ref
ref's
just
like, I'm
fucking
not gonna let
called
this
it.
go. He's like, this is gonna turn
Which
into
pissed me
you
off.
just getting.
I wanted to see Connor get
pulverized.
knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, me too.
But also Connor could have just got that one lucky hit too if they gave him more time.
His hands weren't coming up anymore. He was done.
So wait, a technical knockout. I'm assuming that there has to be at least a handful of nerds like me in the audience that know nothing about this type of shit. A technical knockout is when the ref
decides the fight's over.
stops
Yeah,
the fight.
yeah. You don't make the count. You're conscious-ish, and you don't make the count, or the ref says, I'm not going to let you just get the shit kicked out of you.
Okay,
Like the
so
ref at any time can just stop you. If you're both just fucking going nuts, the ref at any time can stop it and look at you and then decide the fight's
Yeah.
over. And
Well,
that's a
it
TKO.
typically comes if somebody's just
Getting their ass
pounding
kicked.
the shit out of the other guy, and the other guy's doing nothing, right? Like, is either tired or something. The ref's like, this is done. I'm not going to let you die in this ring kind of
Can
thing.
it still happen if somebody's on their feet?
Yeah,
Yes,
oh, yeah.
it happens
Typically
all-
does.
In boxing now, it happens like, in my opinion, way too soon all the time.
It does a lot. But
Like, let them get to the end of the round, they'll recover and they'll be able to fight. But they'll stop it. Like, if you're just like defending only, kind of getting hit a bunch, they'll just stop it now in
Yeah.
boxing. It's fucking lame.
That sounds like
yeah,
fucking
I'm
bullshit.
with you. Let them get to the end of the round, and if they come back out in the new
And they're
round
still
and are doing the
shitty,
same
then
thing,
call it.
then call it. But like if somebody's like so fucked, they're just like that's what happened to McGregor. He had pretty much his hands were down here. He had no more energy to defend anything. And what Mayweather does,
started
what he
throwing
does,
down on
he
him.
tires you out, and then like Connor had no more defense, and even though he would not go down, Mayweather is just pounding the shit out of him, and the ref's like, you're not going to defend yourself.
You're
I'm
gonna
also
lose
not going to let
eventually,
you just
But I'm not going to let you get brain
get
damage.
brain damage. Yeah,
Oh, okay, when you put it that way, that
I'm not going to let you
That
just
makes sense.
sit
I'm-
here and
I'm
get
not gonna let
fucked
you get
up
a-
on camera while you
a
do
TBI.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So like you're not doing anything.
Connor
It's done.
wouldn't want the fight to be called because he would have. I believe there
He
was,
might
like,
have.
He would have
looked
recovered
He
it
looked
when he's.
gassed.
I mean,
but-
he was fucked, and he gasses easy
Yeah.
in his UFC fights as well. But
You know who doesn't gas easy?
Mike
Tyson.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Because he didn't need to. He never made
Is
it.
he really? He's not like a stamina fighter. He's like a
Mike
heavy
Tyson.
hit-
power
Mike Tyson's
hitter.
power, speed, and a
Stamina,
very odd
everything.
mix of defense and power.
gets it over with quickly.
Typically, yes.
But can go the distance too.
Yep.
He's an anomaly.
A 91-second flurry of blows was all it took to TKO his opponent. This earned Tyson two new monikers: the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and the baddest man on the planet, which is also the title of this episode.
Yep. Cool fucking title, by the way.
Now with the trophy room full of belts, his own Nintendo game, which
Mike Tyson's
Punch
Punch
Out.
Out was the fucking best.
fucking awesome.
They re-put it out without him.
No, it originally came out without him. Punch Out came first, and then he got so popular.
They re-released it.
They
as Mike
re-released
Ty-
it.
Oh,
And
I
to
always
where
thought
it
it was
was-
the opposite.
yeah,
It was,
I thought-
it was the exact same game, but with one more level, and that was
And it
the
was
boss
Mike
level
fighting
of Mike
Mike Tyson.
Tyson.
Holy shit! I thought it was the opposite also, where it was Tyson's Punch Out originally, and
And then when
they-
he raped
they
somebody, they took it
Nope.
down.
Nope, it was
fucking
Punch Out first.
cancel culture.
But it was Punch Out was an arcade game first.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
God, I have a half sleeve on my left arm that is nothing but video games. I should fucking know that.
I never
So
beat Tyson in the game. I could beat everybody else, but never beat Tyson.
Well, I think that like he was specifically programmed to be almost
It's tough to beat him.
unbeatable.
Yeah.
You could beat him though. He lost 6 times.
Now with the trophy room full of belts, his own Nintendo game, and several $1 million in the bank, the once homeless kid from the wrong neighborhood in New York was on top of the world and ready to live it up.
Ready to
And
fuck.
live it up he did. And ready to fuck whether somebody was willing or not, apparently. Fueled on a daily diet of hookers and blow, Tyson began focusing less on his boxing and more on spending cash like it was going out of style. Purchasing a mansion in Ohio who buys a fucking mansion in Ohio? I mean,
apparently Mike Tyson does.
Mike
You gonna tell him not to?
No, I'm not telling Tyson anything.
Well, apparently you don't tell Mike Tyson no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no means yes.
Fuck, do we have to drink for that? I feel like we should drink for
That's
that.
not racist.
It's not racially
wasn't-
insensitive. I'm going to drink for
I'm
it.
gonna drink just for fun though.
Purchasing a mansion in Ohio that included a large indoor pool as well as an outdoor pool, multiple hot tubs, full basketball court, cages for exotic animals, and steel front gates that bore his name. It was also during this time that Tyson met and married his first wife, rising star and actress Robin Givens. Though the marriage was brief, it had its fair share of controversy. According to Tyson, he once took Givens to a private date to the New York Zoo. This is one of the best Mike Tyson stories fucking ever.
It might be like the most quintessential Mike Tyson story, by the way.
During the date, he witnessed a 450-pound silverback gorilla bullying some of the small apes. Recalling his childhood and being bullied for his speech, Mike became enraged and offered the zoo attendants, asked the zoo attendants to open the cage so he'd go in and, quote, bash that silverback snot box. I would love to hear Tyson say that. I'm going to bash that silverback snot box.
Mike, if you're watching, I did that impression out of love. Don't kill me.
Yeah, very, very much respect.
He's zen now, dude. He likes it now.
Oh yeah, now he's not going to care.
He's a big teddy bear now.
It's probably lucky for Tyson that the zookeeper declined the offer and his wife was able to calm him down. Or it's lucky for the gorilla considering Tyson's fight record. Rumors of violence, abuse, and infidelity arose early in Tyson's relationship with Givens. Then, in September of 1988, just 7 months into the marriage, the issue came to a head. During an interview with Barbara Walters, Givens described her life with Tyson as, quote, torture, pure hell, worse than anything I could possibly imagine.
Damn.
Givens also spoke about Mike's unstable mental state, describing him as a severe manic depressive, which doctors would confirm later in Tyson's life. For his part, Tyson just sat quietly and calmly, while his wife piled on allegations of abuse. The couple divorced in February of 1989 after just 1 year of marriage. Later on, in his book Fire and Fear, Tyson would accuse Givens of faking a pregnancy and miscarriage in order to in order to pressure Tyson into a marriage. He also admits to hitting Givens, claiming that, quote, okay, this is a fucked up quote. So,
oh shit.
He admitted to hitting Givens, saying, quote, that was the best punch I've ever thrown in my entire life.
Oh, fuck.
End quote.
Yep.
Floyd
He was pissed.
Floyd Mayweather would later go on to upstage Tyson in this particular domestic competition. I still think that Floyd Mayweather is a bigger piece of shit than Mike Tyson is.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, Floyd Mayweather has not learned his lesson. He's still just a fucking
No, he's never
piece
been
of
held
shit.
accountable for anything, right?
And he also hasn't turned into any form of like respectable
Remorseful person.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson shouldn't have been doing this. He's naughty for that.
He absolutely
He's a fucking asshole for that.
Absolutely shouldn't have. Yeah, he's
But I
still
think he's doing his best to try to work on that and,
Yeah.
and
See,
try to get forgiveness.
I didn't
Yeah,
read the book, and I'm sure that quote in that
out of context.
in
it's
that
fucked
context
up.
sounds incredibly fucked up, and it is. By the way, I'm not going to say it's not,
true.
but
yeah,
he
absolutely.
probably went on to say like, "Hey, different person now, right?" Or he went on to say like, "Fuck that bitch, I hear her again." I don't know. But-
I think that's the reason that I have a different amount of respect for Mike Tyson than what I do for Floyd Mayweather, because Tyson at the very least is trying to become a different person, and he has become a different person.
Yeah. He's
Floyd
not that
Mayweather
same
is
guy.
still a fucking stupid, illiterate piece of shit
yeah,
who is making way more fucking money that he should be making. But at least Mike Tyson is very obviously,
and he did his time.
He did his time,
He
but he's
served his
also
sentence.
very obviously trying to become a
better person.
different person than he was before.
Like,
He sees the
Like
the
Ray
mistakes.
Lewis, you know. Same thing. He didn't. Ray Lewis didn't do any time, but he.
Did you
Trying to
see
be a
when
better
he was? Well, I listen to his podcast a lot, and then I also, whenever I find out he's on a podcast, I always listen to it
Who,
because he's the
Tyson?
best. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an awesome.
Have
dude.
you guys seen the when he was talking about insects and shit? He was on
Maybe.
like the Nelk Boys fucking podcast.
You showed that to me.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't kill ants, I don't kill bugs, I don't kill fucking ladybugs, spiders, or anything. I don't kill anything. And then they were like fucking with him, like, what do you mean? So what if there's an ant colony in your house, you're not gonna kill them? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, what are you gonna do? Take them all outside? He's like, well, no, I'm not gonna help them, but I'm not gonna kill them. I don't do that anymore. And then he goes off on why it's all spiritual and like trying to do better and do the right thing. But it's just like hearing Mike Tyson act like this. But also when they tried to fuck with him, his body language changed and he looked over and was like, I don't kill ants, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
It's
the guy
fucking
was
scary.
Yeah, the guy was like,
It's fucking
okay,
scary.
I love ants. You know what? I love ants and I'm
Love ants? I love ants too.
I'm
I
not
love
gonna-
ants.
I'm
No,
not
I
killing
hate
ants.
Raid. Fuck Raid.
Yeah.
Just a corporation built on murder. And but yeah, no. And speaking of illiteracy with Floyd Mayweather Jr., Custamato taught Mike Tyson how to read when he was 16. Mike Tyson couldn't read until he was 16. I know you cut that out because I got wordy. I know, but yeah, I mean, it's just such an incredible story, and there's just so much documentation about it. There's like,
I can't believe that Tyson wasn't able to read until he was 16. It seems like such a normal skill.
To me, when I hear about people in the modern age being illiterate, I don't understand it one bit. But there's plenty of people that are
White
illiterate.
privilege, dude.
Floyd Mayweather.
Probably.
Floyd
we
Mayweather.
drink for that one?
Floyd Mayweather is an illiterate fuck. Oh God, I fucking hate that guy.
One
so
day I
much.
want to get you and Floyd Mayweather in a room with Dan Holloway.
Okay,
for your protection.
as long as Dan's there to protect me.
So you'll
because-
get
Floyd
killed.
Mayweather might be a piece of shit,
You'll get killed, and
but
then, and
no
then Dan will
offense,
kill
I'm taking
for you.
Floyd in that bet.
I will take at least one punch before Dan Holloway just shoots Floyd Mayweather in the face.
How much money to take a punch from Mike Tyson?
I would let him punch
Ooh.
me for free, just so I could say, if I live, I could say I got punched by him.
I mean, you might live, but I mean, Terry Schiavo was alive for a while too. I mean,
Yeah, it would.
I'd be
probably-
terrified, but I would let him punch me just so I could say I got punched. by him.
I would.
I think he would not hit me as hard as he could.
And the
'cause
Nooners
he's
know.
different now.
I made it through an Iconoblast episode and dropped in a Terry Schiavo reference. It's my go-to.
Cheers to
R.I.P.
Terry.
Terry. Now, what if there was a Terry Schiavo sex doll?
I'd fuck it.
My favorite
Hey, eat your
vegetable outside
vegetables.
of carrots. So all right, I'm just gonna fucking breeze through the rest of this. Later on in his book, Fire and Fear, Tyson would accuse Givens of faking a pregnancy and miscarriage, and then he talked about the best punch that he ever threw in his life against
Yeah, he
Givens,
whooped
which
that
is
line.
Mikey.
It's real good.
fucked.
Mikey.
Yeah, that's-
Well, I mean, she did lie about a pregnancy. I mean, sometimes you just gotta rap on the beak, you know.
just a little love tap to correct him or something. But
Yeah, you gotta straighten that bitch out.
your words, not mine.
Dude, remember when we fought Don Fry together?
Oh, that was actually one of the
When I
greatest
fought,
days
you know,
of my.
you know who Don Fry is, right?
Sounds very familiar.
He's a former UFC fighter, champion.
Oh, yeah.
He's in Pride.
Yeah.
Mustache, deep voice,
Yeah.
American hero.
Maybe for the people on YouTube, on Drinking Bros History YouTube channel, I will say that possibly there will be an overlay here. There's about a 90% chance that
It's a
it's
whale dick?
actually a whale
Yeah,
penis.
it's gonna be real thick.
Of the fight.
And well, yeah, the fight with him, it was a
Coop and I
something
got
not-
to fight Don Fry in a fight scene in a movie.
Yeah.
And he,
yeah.
we spent like, what was it, 20 minutes choreographing a quick little fight. We were just cannon fodder during a scene where he has a line, and
Yeah, I
we
think
run
we
and
were
attack
both-
him, and he
we were
beats us
both
both up.
wearing
We had
masks.
masks on and shit.
Yeah.
And we choreographed this whole scene, and then we actually do the take. He just completely doesn't do anything that we choreographed,
And just
actually
commits
just
to the
fucking
attack.
beats the shit out of me.
He beats
threw
the
me
shit out
on
of you guys?
threw me on the ground, and whatever he did to you, I don't remember because I was faced like. I remember I was supposed to swing, and he dodges, and then like punches me in the face, and then punches me in the stomach, and then I'm supposed to fall over. When I ran over, he didn't even dodge the punch. Like bent my arm back, and then like fucking chopped me in the back of the neck, and the force was so strong that I just hit the concrete on my chest. I was like, "Gah!" And then Coop comes
And
running
then
in, and he did this.
Grabbed me by the throat, which I
Wasn't in the choreography.
Yeah. he just went into full-on fight mode.
Yeah, didn't he give you a headbutt or something?
Grabbed me by the
Yeah.
throat and headbutted me.
Yeah, but they just did it for real, and they were like, "Cut, look great, we're done." We did one take.
You two were like, oh, fuck.
It looked very convincing.
Am I getting
Yeah.
paid extra for this shit?
I was so happy.
Dude, I was fucking proud to get my ass kicked by Don Fry.
Yeah.
I would do that again in a second. Don Fry is also like he
was the
is
nicest dude
such
ever.
a fucking nice guy. Like out of everybody that we worked with on Chuck Hank and the San Diego Twins, it was Don
Him
Fry
and
and
Josh.
Josh Barnett. Yeah.
Yeah, the nicest people on the set were the two UFC
The
champions.
most
That are,
dangerous
I
people
told
on
you.
set
I
were
told
the
you.
nicest
They're
ones.
dangerous people are nice.
And
Until
Josh
it's time
Barnett,
to not be nice.
especially, like Josh Barnett is not only. I mean, Joel can speak to this more than I can because he spent a lot more time with Josh than I have.
he does a Christmas
parties.
Yeah, the Yule parties. I get to go. Which, when I say get, it's more like I feel like I have to go, and then I get beat up the whole time I'm there.
Well, yeah,
all
it's
fighters.
part of the
What, he just like
process.
reenacts that scene every time? Like, know how I know this guy? He just like throws you down on the fucking
in that
floor.
well, in that community, I don't know if it's the case for all fighting communities, but it feels like it is. Like the way they all communicate and talk is very physical. Like when you walk into this Christmas party, there's at least one person in a headlock the entire time you're there. Like how they say hello is they sneak up and put you in a headlock and you tap out. My first time there, I didn't know to tap. So like I would get choked and I'd be like, "Help, stop." And they'd be like, "Why are you tapping?"
And you woke up naked inside the sauna.
Well, there was one part when I was by the fire pit and
That's if it ends well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that happens to me all the time. But I was
Hey, weird shit happens, man. I woke up Monday morning in bed in my Airbnb with my jeans still on, but with no underwear.
yeah, I remember you
How's
told
it-
me that. I swear I think somebody fucked you and put your pants back on and forgot to put the underwear on.
I mean, if
mean-
it is who I think it is, fine.
God bless him for at least putting the pants back on.
You're staying with
Trying to
Boston
make it
Joe,
seem
right?
Like
I mean-
nothing happened.
You know, the way I was dressed, I probably deserved it. But
You had it coming, you whore.
Those pants were tight. That
these blue eyes make them go wild.
They do.
camel toe, man, that was hot.
No, it was moose knuckle.
Moose knuckle.
Moose knuckle.
Yeah,
they were
they're-
tight. They
they're-
were tight jeans.
There is a differentiation between camel toe and moose knuckle. It's
Yeah, there's a tail.
yeah. But as far as you were saying about Josh, like
Oh, let me finish. I was sitting by the fire, and he was showing another fighter how to do a proper toe hold. Josh is like one of the best wrestlers of all time. That's how he wins a lot of fights with arm bars and toe
Yeah,
holds.
boo. Stand up and fight.
Oh, he also could stand up. He has the record for the most punches in a heavyweight fight. Still, I think it's like over 300 strikes
In the UFC?
In
Really?
the UFC, I think he fought against Big Country, and by the end they went the whole 5 rounds. It was over 300 strikes in a heavyweight fight. He beat the shit out of Big Country, but Big Country doesn't get knocked out. I think there was 30 toe stomps, and about 200 punches to Big Country's face from Josh. Yeah, so he can strike, but he can also wrestle.
You can also
yeah,
wrestle.
well, also like one of the things that impressed me so much about Josh is I have a very, very esoteric tattoo on the inside of my left forearm, which is a character from an old Apogee game that it was the very first video game that I ever played.
Commander Keen.
And don't
It
give
looks
away
like
the
Samus,
ending.
or what's Samus from?
Well, I have Samus on the outside of my forearm. On the inside of my forearm, I have a character from the very first video game I ever played outside of Contra, and literally the only person who ever called out that character was Josh during a lunch break when we were filming.
Knew it right away too.
Yeah, he pointed it out. He was like, "Oh, that's Commander Keen. That's an old Apogee game, right?" I was like, oh, "Not only do you remember the character's name, you remember the company that
Josh
that
is super
made it.
smart.
Dude, he's a
nerd. He's smart. He plays fucking D&D.
And he, like, one of the first times that
Loves
we sat
metal.
down for lunch with him, he quoted Gauntlet. He was like, "The wizard needs food," as he was sitting down to fucking eat his food. He's like, he's
down to be on the show too. He's going to be a guest on the show next time he's in Austin, or if we fly him out or whatever we got to do.
No joke. For the past 5 years, I have had a Viking episode that I am saving
specifically
for Josh,
because he is the last living Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people that I would consider to be a Renaissance man, where he's not only a very dangerous person, he's also an extremely intelligent person, and he has both of those aspects of his character in check.
Right.
Which makes him
is he a better looking Viking than Alexander Skarsgård in that fucking trailer? Because that dude looks like a monster.
If I had to fuck either one of them, it would be Josh. Well, no. So realistically, if I was gonna submit to either one of them fucking me, it would be Josh, because there's no way that I'm overpowering either.
Yeah,
dude. Do you remember when we shot the hallway scene with the ninjas?
Yeah,
it was Josh's buddies. Do you remember the guy? His name is Victor.
He
was a shorter dude. He was the one that was like, because we were like throwing these ninjas into walls, but they weren't stuntmen. They were all MMA fighters. His name is Victor Henry. He just a dude that was there, but he was like, "Throw me in the wall." So as dressed up as a ninja, he's getting thrown through walls. He did like 3 of the stunts just because he was excited. That's one of Josh's. He's a coach now. He's training a bunch of fighters. That same guy that was there while we were shooting that movie in 2013 just got in the UFC this year and had his first fight. And I was just at the bar with Dan Holloway and Ross and shit. We were. It was when they went to the game. It was when we were looking at the first cans for hardest fuck seltzer. And I look up on the screen and this dude fucking Henry is in the UFC. Josh got him in and he beat the shit out of some dude who was like 10-0, whooped his ass, and now he's in the UFC and kicking ass. One of the ninjas that we were throwing through walls on our movie.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Josh has like 4 people that he's training, and they're all whooping ass. He's smart. He's gonna be like a really good coach. I mean, he already is, obviously.
Yeah, like I was saying, Josh is like a modern day Renaissance man, where he has a combination of both intelligence and being just absolutely physically dangerous.
Yeah.
Like you cannot fuck with him either mentally or physically.
Yeah, I have neither of those.
And neither do I.
You've seen me. I'm not an intimidating person.
He's I have a huge.
He's
amount
called
of
the War
respect.
Master now, but when he was first fighting, when he first became, he took the title from Randy Couture. Whooped Randy Couture's ass and got the title. And back then he was called the Babyface Assassin.
Oh,
Josh
I remember
was?
that guy.
Yeah. And
Why would they call him?
Dude, if you see
I've
how
never seen him without a beard.
If you saw him when he was young, he was super young when he became champion.
Holy shit.
He's super clean shaven and he looks like a baby. So he like, to make fun of himself, he was called the Babyface Assassin. And then as he got older, grislier, and became a real badass Viking, he became the War Master.
Oh,
Cool.
That just brought back a memory of what I thought was one of my better jokes in the moment was during a scene between Josh and Paz de la Huerta.
Paz de la Huerta. Woo!
So in the scene,
yeah.
I don't know if I mean, maybe this will get cut out, but there was a scene
A lot of this is getting cut out.
where Josh was like holding on to Paz, and she decided to spit during the scene, like spit in his face.
Oh God, this is gonna make me vomit. You're gonna tell this?
Well, no, that
You
well,
have a problem with that?
I was just.
Just the way she did it, I was right there.
Oh yeah, I was right there for it too.
Thank
And
God he had that mask on though.
still, understandably, he was not thrilled about the fact that she was spitting in his face without discussing it beforehand.
Yeah, nor would I be.
But
Not just a spit.
yeah,
Like
Like-
like a full on.
Well,
like,
it was like
from the back of
scene-
the throat.
You've seen the fucking shitty '80s movies when someone spits in their face. They like pretend. And when you watch it, you can even tell there's no spit. Like, that was what the scene was supposed to be.
full-blown-
She was
like a straight
she
lube.
was straight up being like before.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
yeah,
Uh-uh.
Like, oh God, massive loogies, dude.
it honestly isn't even
Massive.
the best joke, but for some reason I thought that it was good because I was doing sound on the film, and the first time that she spit, it was just like a real stringy loogie that came out and landed on her boobs. And
All the way down, huh?
She's so gross.
the first thing that popped in my head is like, that's
Didn't
not-
even hit him in the face.
No, it just kind of went a little ways out of her mouth and landed on her boobs. And then the first thing that popped in my head, which I said to the other guy that was on the sound team with me, was that is not the first time that she's ever spit on her tits in front of a group of men.
No. No, I bet you all that heroin she was on probably just made her saliva all sticky and shit.
She was a wild card.
She was a
man.
fucking wreck during that. Somebody else who used to be a wreck was that's another fucking
Great
lame
transition.
segue. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I was like Bruce Jenner.
It's the best transition of all time.
Good for her.
Mike would continue his life of fighting and partying, defending his titles twice while filling his day with fast cars, loose women, and lavish parties, which were also filled with fast cars, loose women, and lavish parties. By 1990, Tyson's life seemed to be drifting wildly off course. His training became less focused and frequent, while his personal life could be described as chaotic at best. On February 11th of 1990, the lifestyle finally caught up with him. Tyson, now 23 years old, lost his first professional fight and his undisputed title to Buster Douglas by knockout in the
Buster Douglas.
And I never knew that was a real person. I thought it was a joke name. To Buster Douglas by knockout in the 10th round of their bout in Tokyo. This was the fight that Tyson was so heavily favored to win, only in one casino, the Mirage, they put the betting odds out for it, placing Mike as 47-1 favorite.
Damn.
After the shocking loss, Tyson regrouped. Though he would continue his wild ways outside of the gym, he began focusing more on his training. Tyson mounted an impressive comeback.
It's that point.
Yeah,
We're almost through it, though.
Power through it, Coop.
I'm gonna bring it back to the beginning of
Don't make me have to read this.
Fuck.
That happened on the Floyd Mayweather episode.
That I got. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's another boxer.
What boxer hurt you so bad that you have to?
Yeah.
It was Cassius Clay.
Was it you? Was it you with Mike Tyson?
I'm Robin Givens. After the shocking loss, Tyson regrouped. Though he would continue his wild ways outside the gym, he began focusing more on his training. Tyson mounted an impressive comeback campaign with the help of eccentric boxing promoter and Tyson's personal friend, Don King, who also killed somebody and got away with it.
And stole $150 million from Mike Tyson.
What's the more egregious of the two?
$150 million.
Yeah,
Fuck
okay,
that person.
yeah. Because, I mean, probably the guy that Don King shot wasn't all that great. The Tyson hype train began picking up steam fast.
The Tyson hype train.
Mike won 4 fights in 2 years, once again proving he was the baddest man on the planet. And that is where we're going to cap off this episode We have a part 2 coming that's continuing the rest of the story. But
Where we continue to talk about pedophiles?
Most likely. That seems to be a running theme on the show.
That's
the
a thing,
sweat
right? That's
Literally
happening.
just dried off me. You got to bring this shit up again.
They're going to make those in China, right?
No, I think there's laws against them in most places. I know that you definitely can't do like even animated porn of children.
Yeah, you can't even draw. You can't even draw 2 kids fucking.
Yeah,
it's illegal.
You can, as long as you say like, oh, these are 2 people above the age of 18 that
look like kids.
Look like they're kids.
That's how you get away with it.
Yeah, there's loopholes for pretty much everything.
No, what I don't get the step parent thing on Pornhub right now.
Step everything right now. It's all over.
It is a Chinese psyop where they're trying to lower the birth rate of Americans because we have World War III coming.
That's all the time we have for the Iconoblast podcast today.
Yeah, Joel, you want to close this one out for me?
This might be the last one.
So this is the final episode of the Iconoblast podcast. That's your host over there, Coop. You can follow him on Instagram at Coop Nukem. I'm Joel Benner. And with us today is Bill, who wrote the episode, Bill Schofield.
I wrote the
Nooner Nation
Tyson
podcast
section of this episode, just to be
known. Probably want to differentiate
He wrote all the stuff about pedophiles. And
we
wants
discussed
to get
it
a sex
before we
doll
actually
made.
recorded the episode that he was going to spend all this time talking about
pedophilia,
fucking children.
Yeah. Well,
anything you want to say? You want to promote your shit, bro?
I don't know if I want to.
He
now.
He doesn't condone. No, he does. He wants to fuck kids.
Nooner Nation podcast. You can check it out on YouTube. What day?
So the Nooner Nation podcast, I go live on Thursdays on YouTube. Typically, we do a Zoom-in show because it's all about highlighting the Nooners, the fans, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many fucking cool
Tetherball
people.
Network.
Yeah, for the Tetherball Network. Coop came out to our house party over the weekend
Which
and
was
met a bunch of them.
shitload
I wish
of
I could have
fun.
been there.
Yeah,
I was in St. Louis.
There's just so many fucking awesome people that they deserve to have their own show at this point, essentially. So that's what we
awesome.
do. So Thursdays live on YouTube. Also wherever you listen to your audio shit. Like and subscribe on iTunes. Like and subscribe on YouTube. So much casual racism.
Like and
I'm so
subscribe
drunk
all
I
the
can't
shit.
even speak about my own show at this point. But yeah,
that's why
like
this
and
show's
subscribe
dangerous.
on YouTube, rate and review on iTunes. I think you can do it on Spotify now. I
Damn,
bought
we
that
finished
an
that.
hour ago.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, that went way faster than it should have.
Well done.
Just like all of our podcasting careers after this episode,
This is the
by the
final
way.
episode. Yeah.
So that's it for this episode of the Iconoblast podcast. Next week is going to be Mike Tyson Part 2.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are all going to be looking for new jobs. So my name is Matt Cooper. That's Joel R. Benner. That is Bill Schofield. And we are reminding you to never take anything at face value.